righty, welcome everybody to Econ Chat's video number 4. Videos designed to let you be a little bit more successful in class and on the milestone, but maybe even possibly a little bit more successful in life. And welcome to this introduction to a new set of economics, a new style. It's called microeconomics. And we haven't done microeconomics much yet, but microeconomics for you, what you need to kind of think of it as is kind of what it sounds like. We're going to be putting economies underneath a microscope. And so microeconomics means kind of this details of economies and the details of how economics works. And what you're going to see is we're going to be discussing along the way things like price, and we're going to be talking about how goods and services are set up, how businesses run. And so we're going to be actually taking a look at some of those economies, but narrowing it down and look at the interactions between producers and customers, and maybe make some sense of things like, hey, why is gas rolling up to $2.80, $2.90, $3 a gallon now? Why is gas shortages occurring? Things that are a little bit more timely for you as we are sitting here now as I film this, waiting on Hurricane Urba to arrive. But in either case, we need to, of course, make sure that we're doing everything by the standard. And this first standard goes a little something like this. It is SSEMI 1, that's Social Studies, Economics, Microeconomics 1. And it says you need to describe how households and businesses are interdependent and interact through flows of goods, services, resources, and money. And you're going to see A and B says, A, illustrate a circular flow diagram that includes the product market, the resource or factor market, households and firms. And then we have to explain the real flow of goods, services, resources, and money between and among households and firms. So, of course, I want you to make sure that you see that term, that households and businesses are interdependent. That, of course, means that we rely on each other. And businesses need households, but of course households need businesses as well. And then we interact within markets so that we all get what it is that we want or need. So with that being said, you'll notice that one of those standards says that we have to talk about something known as the circular flow model. And yes, I have drawn a slight version of the circular flow model, and we're going to be getting to that, well, let's say right now. So basic concept that you need to understand about this circular flow model is that you have two different parts, two different aspects. You have the households, the individuals, and you have businesses, all right? You have households that are off doing their thing. You've got businesses over here doing their thing. Now, you know by this point that whenever you need to buy something, more than likely you're buying that from a business, and business is producing something, but of course they need to sell it, and they're going to sell it to households. Now, all of these things interact. These interdependency, as the standard mentions, between households and businesses occur in two different types of markets. And now these markets, again, may kind of sound a little different or sound a little complicated, but they really aren't. Trust me. Now, I want to refresh your memory. Remember, the market is that thing that exists that we can't really see, touch, smell, or anything like that, but it's there. And markets exist so that we can get what we want. Well, in this instance, when we talk about the circular flow model, we have a product market and we've got a resource market. Now, the product market, believe it or not, is a market where products are bought and sold. Ooh, that's right. Now, if you're playing along at home, you should also therefore think that the resource market, what is that? You're right. It's a market where resources are bought and sold. And when we're talking about resources here, remember we got to go back to the FOP, the factors of production, the land, the labor, and the capital, and of course the entrepreneur that ties all that together. So what we're going to see is that in these two different markets, there is an interaction between households and businesses and how they are going to get products from one place to the other and how they are going to get their resources from one place to another. Having said all that, I want to make sure that you understand that this circular flow model here, basically all this is just a drawing. All it is just a drawing, a sketch, and a diagram, if you will, of how businesses and individuals interact with one another. So let's go ahead and go through this real simply. Let's start with the easy one, the product market. Product market, remember, products, goods and services.